The first episode of Gen V opens with a young Marie learning about her ability to control blood and subsequently killing both of her parents accidentally. Marie's sister, Annabeth, luckily survives this incident, but she is clearly traumatized. A time jump takes the narrative to the present day, where we see Marie growing up at the Red River Institute, which seems to be a place meant for superpowered orphans. She idolizes Maeve, and she wants to become a superhero by enrolling in the crime-fighting classes at Goode. But when Marie sees a superpowered individual getting abducted by the Elmira Adult Rehabilitation Center, she doesn't move a muscle, and that pretty much shows what she prioritizes. She knows that if she stands out in any way, especially in front of an organization that is capturing supes, she is going to be penalized unfairly. Anyway, she does get into Goode, and she is warned by her mentor that it isn't a cool place because Marie can find herself in a cell if she does anything wrong. At the Goode hostel, Marie is paired up with Emma, who has shrinking powers and is a social media influencer who goes by the name, The Cricket. After learning a little about each other, Emma takes Marie on a tour of the college, where we meet Luke, aka Golden Boy. He has fire-based powers. His girlfriend is Kate. She has mind-manipulating powers. His best friend is Andre. He has metal-bending powers. Once the introduction to the main characters is done, Marie goes to the crime-fighting division to learn about Richard Brinkerhoff's class. However, due to her lack of social media presence and unmarketable powers, Marie's candidature is rejected by not just Richard but also his assistant, Jordan Lee, a gender shifter with a different set of powers for each personality. Later that night, Marie witnesses a kid trying to run out of the institution by using his super strength. Without realizing what is going on, Marie and Andre use their powers to apprehend the kid, who is then sedated and taken away by the fully armed and armored security forces living on the college premises. We see the kid being taken to an underground facility that has these creepy forest drawings on the walls. I guess this is what the counselor at the Red River Institute was talking about. Not weird at all. Emma tries to help Marie make some friends, but Marie realizes that there's a massive cultural gap between her and the rest of the people because everyone has earned some level of fame, while she has been in a bubble, away from anything that's synonymous with technology. On top of that, Marie is aware that if she tries to be like anything that she isn't, it is going to backfire on her, especially since she is not interested in any of the things that the other students are interested in. Luke learns that he is on his way to the Seven. It's a proud moment for him, but given the situation with the Seven, it's probably not that big of a deal. Starlight has left. Maeve is gone. Black Noir is dead. So, there's Homelander, the Deep, and maybe A-Train. That's just 3 people. There are 4 other slots left, and of course, one of them is filled by Goode's top-ranking candidate, Luke. Elsewhere, Andre invites Marie to a party with the popular group because he likes her superpowers. Marie doesn't want to go because, even though she hasn't seen what happens at a party where drugs mix with superpowers, she can imagine what can happen. And she doesn't want to risk her reputation in any way. Emma, who is way more into socializing with the popular folk, pushes Marie to go to the party. After a lot of persuasion, Marie decides to go, and she is warmly welcomed by Luke, Andre, Kate, and Jordan. Meanwhile, Emma decides to hook up with a fan named Liam, who wants her to become small and ride him in a sexual way, if you know what I mean. That's when we learn that Emma has to puke her guts out in order to grow smaller, which is in no way a pleasant experience. She does that for views every day, and now she is doing it to appease a guy. The whole thing ends up being pleasant for Liam, but it turns out to be a hideous ordeal for Emma. Marie opens up to Liam after he opens up about his brother, Sam. In order to fit in, Marie has been lying about her parents. But she admits to Luke that they are actually dead, and she wants to become a soup so that her sister can stop treating her like a monster. When they enter the party, Marie starts to do hard drugs. Luke begins to hallucinate about a forest and his brother calling out to him. However, it's Andre who messes things up while trying to woo a girl. He successfully turns a coin into a hummingbird and tries to, let's say, use it in a creative way to win a bet. When a guy runs into him, Andre loses his focus, and the coin or metal hummingbird slices the neck of an unsuspecting woman. To avoid getting caught, everyone makes a run for it, but Marie hangs back and saves the woman with her blood-controlling superpowers. This is recorded by the people present at the party, and Marie becomes an overnight sensation. The night after the disastrous party, Marie is called up by Richard and expelled because she has to take the fall for the rest of the guys. Goode ranks them higher than Marie, and they think that Marie's powers are going to weird out everyone, thereby making her unmarketable as a potential member of the Seven. Hence, she has to take the blame. When Emma catches Marie walking out of the office, she tries to learn what has happened. But Marie simply lashes out at her. Yes, Emma is a little clingy and a little desperate for attention and fame. She doesn't seem like a bad person, though, and she is clearly battling her own demons. And she doesn't deserve to be treated like that. She'll learn how to give someone space when they need it, but Marie shouldn't have talked to her so aggressively. I mean, Marie wants to portray herself as a superhero. That's not how a superhero handles a stressful situation. Just saying. Talking about stressful situations, Luke hallucinates yet again, and he sees his baby brother stuck in a forest. This somehow prompts him to talk to Richard. Simultaneously, Marie realizes that she can't give up on herself so easily, especially when she is hellbent on proving to her sister that she isn't the bad guy. So she goes to meet Richard too. During Gen V Episode 1 ending, Marie walks through the doors, and she witnesses Luke incinerating Richard. Marie assures Luke that she hasn't seen anything and that she won't say a word to anyone. Luke tries to attack Marie, and she makes a run for it. Jordan comes in between Marie and Luke. So, Luke gets into a fight with Jordan, and they put up a brilliant but badly edited superhero battle. Andre intervenes too, and when Luke realizes what he has done and that he is being recorded, he seemingly calms down. He hugs Andre and tells him something. Then he shoots up into the sky and explodes, thereby showering everyone with his blood and body parts. It's obvious that whatever triggered Golden Boy to take such a drastic step has something to do with his brother. Since he killed Richard before killing himself, it's safe to assume that he had something to do with Luke's dead brother. Given how Golden Boy uttered his last words to Andre, it's possible that he holds the key to the mystery surrounding his brother and the deceased Richard. Why did Golden Boy kill himself, though? Well, he was clearly suffering from something. I don't think shame had anything to do with it. He probably couldn't deal with the constant hallucinations anymore, and he wanted to put a permanent stop to them. I don't know how fictional superpowers work, so I don't know how a fire-powered individual can explode. You just have to accept it at face value. The second episode of Gen V opens with Andre, Kate, Marie, and pretty much the rest of the school witnessing the cleaning crew collect what remains of Golden Boy. Ashley, who seems to be running point on the situation for Vought, has a conversation with Indira, Polarity, Andre's dad, and the rest of the faculty at Godalkin to decide how they are going to spin the story. They don't take a second to paint Golden Boy as a drug addict who died by suicide. They agree on portraying Richard as a martyr. But when it comes to letting Jordan take the #1 spot on the popularity meter, Ashley says something bigoted about their pronouns, because that's essentially how capitalists think. With that out of the way, they paint Andre and Marie as the real heroes and bump up their positions. Ashley mentions the woods to Indira, which is a reference to the underground jail in Godalkin, and it seems like an illegal facility. Marie returns to her room and is welcomed by Emma. Emma knows what Marie has been through, but Marie doesn't know what Emma has been through. So, she lashes out at Emma and tells her to give her some space. The following day, everyone learns about the new rankings, and Jordan is understandably upset by them. At the memorial for Brinkerhoff, Kate tries to empathize with Jordan, but they cold shoulder her. Kate notices Rufus and a group of boys chuckling around the spot, and she convinces Rufus to beat himself with a baseball bat for the rest of the day. A slight aberration in Kate's eye indicates that every time she uses her powers to manipulate someone's mind, it takes a toll on her body. One of the students informs Marie that she has to start acting like a superheroic influencer now because she is in the spotlight, while Andre's father mentors him regarding how he must handle the spotlight. Andre does try to get Polarity to talk about Golden Boy, but Polarity goes into a speech about grabbing the opportunity that has been presented to him due to Golden Boy's death. Amazing parenting. Vought's correspondent at Godalkin, Courtney, informs Marie that she and Andre have to sit down for an interview with Haley, one of the most famous journalists in the business. Marie wonders what she will talk about during the interview, and Courtney simply hands her a script that she has to stick to. Marie and Andre take part in a photo shoot, which feels bizarre because this is the university's reaction to a suicide and a murder. Anyway, Marie tells Andre that right before dying, Luke mentioned the woods, and Andre tells Marie that Luke whispered in his ear that Polarity had something in his possession. Andre merely hints that he wants Marie to team up with him and investigate this situation. Marie reminds him that she doesn't owe anyone anything, and she wants to stay away from every single one of the popular kids because she was almost expelled for the mess they made. Adam Burke makes a cameo, and he seems to be suffering through an acting masterclass. Emma is present there, and when Burke asks the students to pair up with someone and prepare a scene for the next session, she tries to get a hold of Liam. Emma is shocked to know that Liam has already moved on. Justine doesn't let her down, as she not only agrees to pair up with Emma, but also makes a fool out of Liam. Since Brink is dead, Indira takes his position and starts teaching the students how to fight crime. Marie learns that she has gotten permission to attend that class because she is somewhat of a star now. Jordan harasses Marie for taking all the credit for the fight with Golden Boy, even though she knows that Jordan did all the heavy lifting. Marie reminds them that she doesn't owe Jordan anything because they rejected her application, and she almost paid for Jordan and the rest of the group's drug-induced shenanigans at a party. Still, Jordan asks Marie to talk about them when she goes on air during the interview with Haley. Marie says that she has to stick to the script, but Jordan reminds her that if her words get recorded, they'll be aired in some shape or form, and that'll help Jordan climb through the ranks. We get brief clippings of Victoria Newman campaigning for the position of vice president, Homelander being tried for murder, and Luke's parents barricading themselves in their own home to avoid the press because Kate is surfing the internet for news. She wonders what forced Luke to do what he did, and Andre expresses his confusion about the incident too. But they decide to echo Luke's value system and get to the bottom of whatever is happening in Godalkin. Justine gets Emma to admit that she needs to purge to get small and eat food to get big. Marie sits for a meeting with Indira and reluctantly reveals that she wants to become a superhero so that she can become famous enough to be noticed by Annabeth, her sister, thereby allowing Marie to get in touch with her because she doesn't know about her whereabouts. Indira tells her that, if she ever wants to open up about her feelings again, her doors are always open for Marie. Indira takes a trip to the woods, where the kid who almost ran away is being held captive and experimented upon by Dr. Edison Cardosa. It turns out that Sam is apparently Luke's brother. He is very much alive. So, the question arises, why did Luke think that his brother was dead? Did he find out something about the woods and Sam? But why would that prompt Luke to kill himself? When Andre and Kate reach Luke's hostel room to get some answers, they see that it has been completely cleaned and bleached so that there's no trace or evidence of any kind. Emma learns that Justine has publicly spoken about her powers, which are activated when she pukes or eats, and she has painted it as an eating disorder. Since Emma doesn't want that kind of attention, she confronts Justine, who is exploiting another student by making her record something embarrassing. Andre figures out that Luke was pointing towards Polarity's statue when he said that his dad had it. When Andre makes a hole in Polarity's statue, he finds Luke's phone in there, which has a recording of him saying that Sam is in the woods and the school has been experimenting on both of them. He wants Andre to save Sam and expose this nefarious circle that is tearing apart the students from the inside. Andre remembers that he has to go for the interview, but he wants to stay with Kate and continue the investigation. Kate motivates him to focus on his career as a superhero and then worry about Luke and the woods later. Andre knows how Polarity is going to react if he doesn't show up for the interview. So, he hugs Kate and prepares to attend the interactive session. Marie goes through the script that she has to reiterate in front of Haley, but she mentally prepares herself to go off script and give Jordan the credit that they deserve. Polarity keeps buying time for Andre because he hasn't arrived yet. Where is Andre? Well, he has taken a slight detour to Brink's office and is going through his laptop. He finds credible proof regarding the fact that the kid who tried to run away is indeed Sam and that he's being held in a facility underneath Godalkin called the Woods. He takes a picture of it on his phone, and that's exactly when the security forces from the Woods barge in to obtain any incriminating evidence. Andrew almost gets caught, but he manages to stay hidden until the coast is clear. Courtney realizes that Andre won't be able to make it to the interview. So, she turns it into a two-way affair between Marie and Haley. Even before the interaction starts, things go sideways as Haley ambushes Marie with the information that the news channel did get in touch with Annabeth, and she refuses to associate herself with Marie. She does it so that she can get a visceral reaction from Marie. However, Marie handles herself like a pro, and she even sticks to the script. That means she doesn't give Jordan the credit that they deserve. When Marie returns to her room, though, she crumbles because she isn't an opportunist in the strictest sense. She is a good person in a bad situation. She goes to Indira for support, and based on Indira's reaction, I think it's an indication that Indira knows she has Marie in her web. During episode 2 ending, we see Andre following the guards from the woods, accessing a secret door to get back into the facility. When a cleaner discovers them, they simply kill him. Andre is discovered by 2 guards. But Kate comes to his rescue as she manipulates them into pleasuring each other in a pretty sadistic way. However, the act of manipulating a lot of people's minds in a span of 12 hours causes Kate to suffer from convulsions. Andre is left with no other option but to hold on to her and wait for the fits to subside. Andre knows how to get into the woods. He knows that Sam is in there. Based on his love for Luke, we can assume that he'll try to conduct a rescue operation. However, he has to do it without getting detected, and it's quite difficult to go through a secret door in the walls, which can be opened with an electronic device, in an inconspicuous way. So, he has to come up with a plan before the people who are experimenting on Sam permanently damage him. Gen V Episode 3 shows that around 3 years before the incident, Luke was actually in touch with Sam, who was suffering from the side effects of Compound V while being held at a secure facility. Maybe it was an early-day version of the woods. Well, not just Luke, even Kate was aware of Sam's issues, and one day, when things got a little out of hand, she had to use her powers to put Luke's brother to sleep. In the present day, we see Andre taking care of Kate, who has just recovered from her fits. Kate apparently doesn't know that Sam is still alive. Andre feels guilty for stopping Sam from escaping from the woods. So, he wants to help him escape once again. Kate advises Andre to not do anything stupid and end up like Luke. During this interaction, we learn that Kate and Andre have been cheating with each other behind Luke's back for a long time. The whole brotherhood between Andre and Luke and the romance between Luke and Kate was a lie, and they kept lying to him till his dying day, and Luke died believing that Andre was like his brother and Kate was the love of his life. Marie returns to her room only to find out that Emma has purged herself so much that she has become almost microscopic. Emma is obviously distraught after Justine publicized the secret to her powers, and Marie tries to comfort her, but Emma gives her the cold shoulder just like Marie did when Emma tried to comfort her. The sun rises on the next day, and we see that preparations are on for the party that is being conducted to commemorate Brink. Marie eats breakfast with Indira, and Indira unknowingly reveals that she has a daughter. We should make a mental note of that because it can be the reason behind whatever she is doing in the woods. Indira probably knows that, and she distracts Marie by talking about the interview and the party for Brink. Marie is invited so that she can talk to the investors, improve her rankings, and become the next big soup. Polarity reprimands Andre for not being at the interview and tells her to be at the party. Justine tries to apologize to Emma, but it goes horribly wrong because Justine tries to turn that into content as well. Emma's mother pays Emma a visit, and she basically gives her a brief on how she is going to present herself at the party, thereby putting all the social media nonsense in her rearview mirror. Marie tries to start a conversation with Kate, but Kate lashes back at her for being a liar on primetime television. The narrative jumps backward in time by 3 years to show us the point when Luke was convinced that Sam had died. In the present day, we see Jordan venting their frustration via aggressive intercourse. But when their parents arrive, they are forced to appear as a straight boy because Jordan's parents are clearly conservative, even though they know that administering Compound V to Jordan has turned them into a bigendered soup. At the party, Marie gets a lot of accolades and sponsorships. Emma's mother introduces Emma to Courtney, who is trying to pitch a TV show that'll mine Emma's trauma and use it as its central plot point. Emma is clearly disturbed by this line of conversation. So she simply leaves to get some air. Jordan tries their best to get a vote to rise up the ranks, but without Brink behind their back, they don't receive the attention they need and deserve. Jordan's parents show up to support them while misgendering Jordan throughout the conversation. That angers Jordan, and they change into their female form in order to mess with their parents and repel the sponsor. When Jordan's father tells them to be in his male form permanently, Jordan retorts by saying that they haven't changed as a person. So, they don't need to stick to a singular form. Jordan's father needs to open up his mind and be more accepting if he really loves Jordan. Marie and Emma bury the hatchet when Marie needs Emma's help to relieve herself. This gives Emma the courage to stand up to her mother and Courtney, and she reveals that her mother is the one who taught her how to purge, thereby associating her whole personality with an eating disorder that will haunt her for the rest of her life. On that note, Emma exits the party and goes to smoke a joint. Andre goes after Emma and proposes an idea to her. He knows that she is the only person who can infiltrate the woods without getting detected because she can become very, very small. By the way, before getting to Emma, Andre does run into Kate, and they have a pretty inconsequential conversation about the evolution of their relationship. Anyway, Emma is not in her senses, and she agrees to do what Andre wants her to do. Andre tells Emma that she just needs to confirm the fact that Sam is in the woods. She doesn't have to rescue him or do anything that's synonymous with superheroism. It's a simple in-and-out mission. Emma manages to get to Sam's room. However, she gets discovered by Sam, and he captures her while assuming that she is a figment of his imagination. Indira gives a massive speech that is supposed to be about Brink, but it becomes all about Marie because that's her priority. She doesn't really care if Brink is dead or super dead. We get a deep cameo as he remembers Brink. That's followed by a message from Polarity. And when the focus shifts to Andre, we see that he is worried for Emma because she has been stuck in the same position for a long time. When Andre tries to leave the party again, Polarity gets a hold of him and asks him what's going on. As soon as Andre mentions the woods, Polarity gets very tense and warns Andre against uttering that name because Andre is evidently not ready to face the consequences of digging into Godalkin's secrets. Meanwhile, Sam ensures that he isn't imagining that Emma is there with him. The trivia section is truly hilarious, and Lizzie Broadway is genuinely amazing in this scene as she tries to convince Sam that she is real. Once he realizes that Emma is real, he starts to worry about her well-being because if the security forces find out that she is in there with him, it's going to lead to a world of trouble. Emma says that Sam needs to leave, and she is shocked to learn that Sam doesn't want to because he thinks that every time he tries to get outside, he hurts people. He says that his situation is improving because of the new medicines he's taking. Emma says that Luke is the one who sent her to rescue Sam. When she realizes that Sam is reacting positively to the lie, she doubles down on it. That prompts Sam to reveal all the security codes for the facility. Gen V Episode 3 briefly goes to Marie, Kate, and Jordan as they reveal their tragic backstories. Marie talks about how she killed her parents. Kate talks about how she accidentally convinced her younger brother to get lost for the rest of his life. Jordan doesn't have a tragic past, but their relationship with their parents is hurtful. Andre interrupts this conversation to reveal to the girls what he has done to Emma, thereby defying his father's advice to not talk about the woods. During episode 3 ending, we see Sam and Emma having a heartfelt conversation with each other about the pros and cons of their respective powers. But that's interrupted by a guard who is there to investigate the potential intrusion. The floors are apparently electrified, and that incapacitates Sam. Emma manages to hide on the bookshelf. However, when she realizes that the guard is going to torture Sam until he is satisfied, she infiltrates his head through his ear and kills him. When Emma emerges from the other ear, she notices more guards coming into the room and realizes that things are going to go sideways pretty soon. So, no, Emma didn't manage to rescue Sam in the most literal sense. That said, she has managed to motivate Sam to plot his escape, which is a big deal because she is trying to convince a person with severe mental issues to believe in himself and his powers. It remains to be seen if Sam uses this newfound confidence to punch through all the guards and go out into the open with Emma. Gen V Episode 4 opens through the deceased guard's ear canal, which is being examined by Dr. Edison Cardosa, while Indira looks at the bloodbath caused by Sam on his way out of the woods. Andre, Marie, Kate, and Jordan find the chip that was on Emma. There's a massive crater there, too, which indicates that Sam leaped all the way to that spot, and then Emma discarded the tracker so that no one can know where they've gone, not even Andre, even though he is the one who gave her that task. Andre, Marie, Kate, and Jordan have a little argument about rankings and Andre's not-so-genius idea before going back to their respective rooms. As for Sam and Emma, they seem to be hiding in an abandoned drive-in movie theater because that's where Sam and Luke used to spend their time before everything went sideways. Emma asks if Sam has access to a phone so that she can call for help, and Sam says that he only trusts Luke to help them out. That's when Emma reveals that Sam is actually dead, thereby causing Sam to freak out. The scene shifts back to Godalkin, where superhero media personality Tech Knight has been called upon to examine what's going on there. When he goes to meet Indira, we see him display his powers, which basically boils down to that thing that Tim Roth did in Lie to Me, where he minutely monitors a person's physical reactions to judge if they're lying or telling the truth. That doesn't faze Indira, and she asks him what exactly he is doing there. Tech Knight says that he's basically searching for a good fall guy, and he's going to pin the blame on them for Golden Boy's death. Knight makes a Johnny Depp joke, and I think he means to say that he's going to use popularity to sway public opinion in his direction and away from the real victim. He also says that he's going to need every single detail associated with Golden Boy for his investigation, and then heads out of Indira's office. Andre tells Kate that Polarity knows about the woods, and he has been pretending to be an ideal superhero all this time, even though he isn't one. Marie goes to Rufus, the psychic who was convinced to beat himself with a bat by Kate, in the hopes of knowing something about Emma. Under the guise of helping her, Rufus causes Marie to black out and takes her to his room. When Marie wakes up, she hears Jordan knocking at the door while Rufus exposes himself in front of her. Marie understandably freaks out and causes the blood in his reproductive organ to expand, thereby exploding it. Jordan bursts in and takes Marie out of there, while showing no remorse for Rufus because he doesn't deserve empathy. In fact, he should be in jail with some kind of a dampener on his head so that he can't keep doing this. Before going their separate ways, Jordan warns Marie that Tech Knight is investigating Luke's death, and Marie needs to be extremely careful, or else she's going to end up somewhere that's worse than prison. Tech Knight sits down to interview Polarity, Andre, Jordan, and Kate, but it's not exactly an interview, it's an interrogation because he wants to blame one of them for Luke's death. He manages to crack Andre by bringing up his relationship with Kate. He causes Kate to act up by mentioning how she failed to see Luke's suicidal behavior despite aspiring to be his manager. He doesn't quite get to Jordan, but he does try to get them angry about Brink's death. Back at the theater, Sam and Emma bond over their personal traumas, which is kind of like that trauma-dumping scene from Deadpool where Wade meets Vanessa for the first time. The two almost get romantic with each other, but Sam gets anxious and walks away from her. As Sam begins to talk to characters that don't exist in real life to quell his emotions, it becomes evident that Sam suffers from the same kind of schizophrenia that Blackmore used to suffer from, conversing with fictional characters appropriate for children who tell him to do inappropriate stuff. During one of her classes, Indira asks Marie about Emma, and Marie straight up lies because she actually doesn't know where Emma is. To make matters worse, Indira brings Tech Knight into the class because they are simply desperate to find a scapegoat. Yes, I don't think they really care about Luke's death or Sam's disappearance. They just want to create a headline that'll absolve the university of its sins. It's fitting that all this is happening in a class about superhero branding. Knight picks out Marie to display his skills, and because she is the only suspect, he hasn't interrogated her yet. It's weird that he arranges somewhat private interrogations for Andrew, Jordan, and Kate. However, in Marie's case, he decides to blast her in front of her classmates. He starts to pick on Marie's lack of marketability and her insecurities, and he pokes her regarding her secrets. Marie figures out that trying to obfuscate the truth is not going to help her. So, she blurts out the truth and finally credits Jordan for saving her from Golden Boy. Tech Knight turns it into a display of his ability to break a witness and gets all the applause from the class. Indira tells Tech Knight to stay away from the top 5 of the university because if another one of them does what Golden Boy did due to Knight's grilling, things are going to get messier than they are already. Knight says that he's going to make Indira the fall guy because Sam has escaped on her watch, and if she accepts her fault, it is possible that Vought will forgive her. Talking about Sam, he seems to be seeing a Sesame Street-like show made by Vought, which features a puppet of the deep as well as Jason Ritter, the actor, and that too in the flesh. They convince Sam to go after Dr. Cardosa because he's the one who has experimented on him. Emma tries to calm Sam down, but his situation gets worse and worse, and he runs away in Cardosa's general direction. A frustrated Andre crushes Polarity's statue and then publicly hugs Kate because, I guess, they don't really care what others think about their relationship anymore. Jordan blasts Marie for putting too much of the spotlight on them instead of taking some of the credit for confronting Golden Boy. Jordan tries to figure out why Marie is doing what she is doing because they suspect that Marie has some kind of ulterior motive. But the truth of the matter is that Marie acts on instinct. She isn't cunning or a schemer. She tries to do the right thing while also getting swayed by her lust for fame. She is human. Jordan realizes that, and they get really intimate with Marie. Sadly, this moment is interrupted by Emma, who informs Marie that they've to stop Sam from hurting Cardosa. Jordan says that they know where Cardosa lives and can get to him before Sam does anything drastic. Elsewhere, Indira corners Tech Knight and tells him that she's aware of his rather disgusting habit of putting his Johnson in anything that has a hole in it, and she has videographic evidence of it. If she makes it public, Tech Knight's life is over. So, she tells him to get the hell out of Godalkin or face the consequences of being a pervert. Knight has no option but to leave. During episode 4 ending, Cardosa returns home only to find out that Sam is holding his husband and their daughter hostage. And just when Sam is about to turn all of them into a bag of meat and bones, the Junior Soups shows up to save the day. All of them try their best to subdue Sam, but he proves to be way too powerful. Ultimately, Emma grows big instead of going small and uses all of her power to pin Sam to the ground. As Marie promises that they are going to protect Sam, the episode abruptly cuts to black. A few seconds later, we see Jordan and Marie lying together, naked. That's followed by Tech Knight violating a hand dryer in Godalkin. Yes, it's purposefully vague so that we stay on the edge of our seats until the next episode of Gen V arrives. In episode 5, Marie, Jordan, Kate, Andre, and Emma are under the assumption that they were at the craziest party imaginable and that they had partied so hard that they don't remember where they are or why they are in such a haze. So, they do the most obvious thing, they surf through social media. Given how there's a lot of footage of the young Soups enjoying themselves in normal and bizarre ways, it clears up the fact that the party was real. But when Sam shows up, nobody remembers him, even though they took it upon themselves to catch him before he killed Dr. Cardosa in the previous episode. Sam tries to jog their memories but to no avail. That's when he states that they have erased everything related to Sam. Sam is obviously talking about Indira, the woods, and Vought, but for some reason, he doesn't spell it out for them. He keeps it very vague as if that's what the young Soups need on top of all the confusion they are experiencing. Then Sam just runs away after telling Emma that he's going to fix everything and help everyone remember who he is, thereby making them remember their quest to expose the conspiracy surrounding Golden Boy. Marie reunites with Jordan, Kate, and Andre, and they all realize that there are severe lapses in their memory. Coincidentally, that's when they came across footage of Rufus at the party. They put 2 and 2 together and come to the conclusion that Rufus has wiped off their memories and made them do things that they'll regret so as to get back at Marie for exploding his phallus. Dr. Cardosa seems to be fine after nearly getting killed by Sam. He is back at the woods and is complaining to Indira about being attacked. Indira assures Cardosa that neither Sam nor the kids will be a problem, thereby hinting at the fact that she's the one who has probably used Rufus to erase the memories of the young Soups. Cardosa says that he is afraid the kids are going to find out what they're really doing at the woods, making a virus that'll allow them to control the Soups. Cardosa also says that if Indira wants him to complete making the virus before anyone else walks in on them doing illegal activities, she needs to get Marie into his labs. Indira says something rather surprising. She says that Marie has a secret benefactor, and hence, she is off limits. I think this statement isn't as complicated as it seems. It's possible that Indira is referring to herself as the secret benefactor, and she is the one who is preventing Marie from any serious harm. It's the stuff about the mind-controlling virus that Cardosa is talking about that is complicated. Why is the school that is mentoring superheroes making an anti-superhero virus? Aren't they supposed to make superheroes more capable and powerful? Well, my running theory is that Indira's child was killed by a superhero. Hence, she hates superheroes. As an employee at Vought, working at the tower, she couldn't have secretly made an anti-soup serum. However, at a school with no such strict restrictions, she can access multiple soups and experiment with them. If the process breaks them, she can make up an elaborate excuse to hide their true intentions. Anyway, coming back to the plot, Kate reveals to the rest of the group that Rufus is a molester, and he has used his powers in the past to make Kate do things that she didn't technically consent to. Marie and Jordan go after Rufus, but it turns out to be a doppelganger. Andre successfully corners Rufus, but he obviously uses his powers to get away from Andre. By the way, amidst all this, Gen V tries to turn Jordan and Marie's whole dynamic into a teen romance, which is corny and okay, but it doesn't really gel with the gravity of the central plot. Thankfully, the show doesn't spend too much time on that subplot, as Emma brings things back on track after finding a t-shirt from the drive-in theater that she was in with Sam, thereby proving that Sam was speaking the truth. Talking about Sam, he massacres a bunch of soldiers from the woods who are trying to capture him and then walks away into the distance. Marie stumbles upon further proof that a lot has happened between the time they found Sam and the moment they woke up after the party because she finds trackers embedded in the bodies of the young Soups. Marie goes to Kate to tell her about the trackers, and Kate uses her powers on Marie, thereby revealing that Rufus isn't the one behind the mind-wiping thing, it is actually Kate. This was a little obvious, given how Kate used to go to meet Sam along with Luke. So, she knew about the woods, and she knew about Sam's existence. Her surprised expression after learning that Sam was being held captive was a big indicator that she was working for Indira. Now, she has shown her hand explicitly. But here's the thing, due to the exposed wound from where Marie had extracted her tracker and the erasure of recent memories, it becomes clear to both Marie and Jordan that something is wrong, thereby negating Kate's mind wipe. When we see Kate confessing to Indira about mind wiping for a long time, it becomes apparent that she isn't a very smart mind wiper. She only thinks about the immediate results and leaves everything else up to chance. Indira calms Kate down and tells her that if she wants to keep her friends safe, then she has to keep using her powers every time they get too close to the woods. Emma returns to the drive-in theater, and Sam is there too. Emma says that even though she doesn't remember the time the two spent together, she believes everything that Sam is talking about. Sam shocks Emma by stating that Kate is the one behind Luke's decaying state of mind because she keeps erasing his memories. Marie and Jordan locate Rufus and force him to talk about what he has been doing at Indira's behest. Rufus says that he hasn't done anything, and Emma confirms that by telling Marie that Kate is the real culprit here. At the end of episode 5, Andre interrupts the conversation between Marie, Rufus, and Jordan, and he almost kills him. Unable to keep up the charade anymore, Kate restores Andre's memories. That overwhelms him, and he walks away from Kate. This revelation puts a big question mark on everything that we have seen. We don't know how many times Kate has used her powers on Andre, Luke, and the rest of the group. Everything that they think they know about themselves and the world has been tarnished. Even if Kate's mind wiping isn't that extensive, the mere thought that Kate could have manipulated their memories will haunt Andre and the rest of the group. More importantly, why has Kate done this? What is she gaining from this whole endeavor? We know that every time Kate uses her powers, it takes a toll on her mind. Yet, why is she risking her physical and mental health for Indira? Episode 6 of Gen V opens with Kate restoring everyone's memories and everyone actively hating on her. Marie is, unsurprisingly, the only person who tries to rationalize Kate's actions by pinning the blame on Goode. As Andre and Marie talk about whether they should forgive Kate or hold her accountable, Kate suffers a seizure or a cardiac arrest because she has overstressed her mind by pushing so many people at one time. Marie takes a massive risk and uses her blood-manipulating powers to calm Kate's heart, and miraculously enough, it works, at least in the meantime. Dr. Cardosa and Indira are seen in the woods visiting an ailing soup called Betsy. Cardosa reveals that she has been injected with a virus made from Sam's blood. It apparently neutralizes a superhero's powers and also makes them extremely sick, two things that shouldn't technically happen with a soup. Cardosa says that he's ready to share his research with Vought because they are the ones who are funding this experiment. Indira tells him not to act hastily and asks him to increase the dosage of the virus in order to test the extent of the damage it can cause. The question that arises from this interaction is, why is Vought pushing for a virus that'll neutralize or kill soups? Vought is in the business of making soups. Does somebody in the company fear that they've gone too far with this whole soup thing? Do they want to kill Homelander now that he's openly a fascist executioner? If Ashley is the person behind this project at the woods, is she doing this for the good of humankind? Well, that'll certainly be a first. Coming back to the kids, Kate wakes up and immediately vanishes into thin air, thereby confusing Andre, Marie, Jordan, and Dusty. When they step out of the room and find themselves in a forest, they realize that Kate hasn't vanished, she has sucked all of them into her mind. Hence, we not only get to see her sealing the fate of her brother, but we also get a Soldier Boy cameo because she fantasizes about him. Soldier Boy unloads a lot of exposition to basically say that the kids need to exit Kate's mind because if they don't, they'll be trapped there forever or be killed by the lightning strikes caused by Kate's rupturing brain. Meanwhile, the first thing that Emma does after getting her memories back is visit Sam and get intimate with him. Jordan, Marie, and Andre visit a memory of Kate's first meeting with Indira. It's quite reminiscent of Professor Xavier's first meeting with Jean Grey, a character who is clearly the blueprint for Kate. If the memory is factually correct, Indira said everything that Kate actually wanted to hear from her parents, thereby making Indira a mother figure in Kate's life. Indira also gave Kate some pills to suppress the voices in her head, which were a result of her mind manipulation powers. It could have been an early-day version of the suppressant that the Woods is currently working on. While the kids process this information, the scene suddenly turns into a classroom at Goode. It's based on Kate's memory of meeting Luke for the first time. But it quickly becomes an intervention for Andre as Luke confronts Andre regarding his affair with Kate. Everyone is appalled, and Andre is uncomfortable. This only angers Luke, and he angrily shoots lasers at them. Dusty gets incinerated, and that means he is dead in real life, too. I think viewers will see this coming from a mile away because Dusty is the most expendable one out of all the characters in Kate's head. So, that's not a big surprise. What is really surprising, though, is that Jordan has been feigning ignorance about everything happening underneath Goode all this time, and that's revealed through a memory of Jordan, which is being played by Kate. As Andre and Marie reprimand Jordan for their betrayal, Kate's memory of Jordan confronts Jordan regarding their cowardice. They highlight that it doesn't take much to stand up for what's right and protest against what is wrong. The bigger picture is always used as a shallow excuse to do all kinds of inhumane activities, and that's getting old. Instead, we should look at the bigger picture and try to be more humane to counteract all the inhumanity that's plaguing society. In addition to that, I have to mention that Derek Lu's performance in this scene is excellent. Emma and Sam share a cute moment that is centered around the emotional undercurrents of sexual intercourse, but they crash into reality when Sam talks about all the havoc he has wreaked. Sam says that they should just go on the run, but Emma says that if they do that, they'll have to keep running for the rest of their lives, and that's not a viable option. She suggests that they should go to Marie and the rest of the gang and see how they can work their way through this whole mess created by Indira and Goode. Talking about the gang, they exit Kate's memory of Jordan's actions and enter Kate's memory of everything that she had to do in the woods. Apparently, she was present in the room where experiments were being conducted on Luke and Sam. Every time Luke woke up and saw what was being done to him and Sam, or even vaguely remembered going to the woods, Kate would wipe his mind. By the way, based on a memory from Indira's office, Kate actually informed Indira and Richard Brinkerhoff about Luke's unstable mind, and they completely overlooked it. As Andre, Jordan, and Marie are viewing this memory, Kate's version of Indira turns against them and orders Kate to erase them. So, the trio goes on the run again. At the end of episode 6, Marie, Andre, and Jordan come across a door that leads them into Marie's memory of the aftermath of her attack on her parents. I want to reiterate that you should take all these memories with a grain of salt because they are being actively distorted by Kate. This is most apparent in Marie's memory, as Annabeth accuses her of intentionally killing their parents and then abandoning her. And going by Marie's reaction to that, she knows that's not how things unfolded between her and Annabeth. So, she asks Kate to stop doing whatever her mind is telling her to do and wake up. Kate refuses to do so because she is too ashamed to exist in the reality that she has shaped with her actions. Andre, albeit angrily, tells Kate that everything that she has done till now is a result of how her parents, Indira and Brinkerhoff, treated her. However, she has the opportunity to make a choice that'll be hers, and Andre thinks that she should act wisely. This prompts Kate to end the spell and face reality as it is. Emma and Sam reach the party house where Kate, Marie, Jordan, and Andre have been all this time, and Sam attacks Kate because he still sees her as the reason why Luke is dead and why his mind is a mess. While everyone else fails, Emma manages to calm Sam down. Kate begins earning back her trust by talking about the woods, and she and Sam reveal that Indira's hatred for the Supes is fueling all her experiments. They fail to go into the specifics, but it's apparent that the young Supes are going to target Indira and bring an end to the woods. Talking about the woods, we see that Cardosa has done what Indira asked him to do, and the increased dosage has killed Betsy. Instead of being horrified by the results of the virus that they are manufacturing, Indira asks Cardosa if they can turn it into a contagious disease. Is Indira planning to kill every Supe? Is she going to kill every student at Goode? Is she going to use the virus merely as a threat so that she can control the Supes? For now, we can only assume that Indira is motivated by the death of her child, which was probably caused by a Supe, and she is working with Vought in order to gain access to the kind of technology that will allow her to eradicate Supes. That'll make her a kind of anti-hero because that aligns with Butcher's motivation. However, if Indira is just a pawn and she's doing all this because Ashley wants her to, then we have to give the credit to Ashley, too. Episode 7 of Gen V opens with Indira and Dr. Cardosa exposing a few young Supes to a Supe who is very infected with the Supe-killing virus. An impatient Indira says that the contamination process is taking too long, and she wants the virus to be airborne, then the infection will spread faster. Cardosa says that what they are doing in the woods is already too out of pocket, and if they make the virus more infectious, Vought is going to finish them all. Indira spells it out for Cardosa and the audience that everything that is happening at Goode is now out of Vought's jurisdiction, and Cardosa has to do what Indira wants him to do because he knows too much. This confirms my suspicion that whatever Indira is doing in the woods is completely illegal. I mean, everything that Vought does is pretty much illegal. But it seems like Indira is crossing some lines that Vought doesn't want her to cross. The concept of making something that harms the soup's business sounded fishy from the get-go. Now, it's clear that Indira is secretly anti-Vought and anti-soup. Kate tries to ambush Indira by asking to convene at her house, but Indira says that she has to go to the city for an unavoidable task and that she'll meet Kate later. Despite Marie, Jordan, and Andre's apprehensions about Kate, they decide to trust her because they don't have any other option. Andre says he'll wait with Kate until Indira arrives, while Marie and Jordan search for evidence in Indira's office so that they can present it to Victoria Newman when she arrives for the town hall meeting at Goode, in the hopes that she'll shut down Indira and her work in the woods. Emma goes out to get some supplies and food for Sam and explicitly tells him to stay inside her hostel room because he's living evidence of the fact that the woods exists and that Indira is responsible for the torture that he has faced. Marie and Jordan infiltrate Indira's office, and they are nearly discovered by Cardosa, but since he's drunk, he doesn't notice them. He delivers a file, urinates in Indira's scotch bottle, and then leaves. Marie and Jordan confirm yet another long-standing theory that Indira's child was killed by a soup. Well, not only her child but her husband was killed by Homelander when he allowed that plane to crash in season 1 of The Boys. So, her crusade to kill every soup in existence makes so much sense. The episode doubles down on this theory by showing Indira meeting Grace Mallory, the founder of The Boys, and informing her about the soup-killing virus. Mallory advises her to stop going down the path of vengeance because it has harmed her and consumed Butcher. However, when Indira leaves, Mallory picks up her phone and asks someone if they've heard everything Indira has said about the woods and the soup-killing virus. She probably had someone from The Boys or someone who is anti-soup listening to their conversation. I don't know who it is, but if I have to bet, it's definitely Butcher. As expected, Sam stupidly leaves Emma's room and goes with Rufus to attend Victoria Newman's town hall meeting. Cameron Coleman sits down to have a conversation with Polarity about superhero issues. Andre and Kate watch the show from Indira's house, and they have a tiff about their trust issues. It's short-lived, though, because Polarity suffers a seizure on live television, thereby causing his powers to act up in weird ways. Andre rushes to help him. As Polarity inadvertently crushes the ambulance that's carrying him to the hospital, Andrew tries to stop the ambulance from getting obliterated. Emma finds out that Sam is missing. Cameron Coleman swiftly moves from the conversation with Polarity, where he almost got killed, to the conversation with Victoria Newman. So, here's what I think is happening. Victoria Newman is trying to hold Homelander, Soldier Boy, and every other soup who has killed innocent people accountable for their crimes. Newman's stance is that soups should be tried like every other human being. However, the vibe of the Goode Town Hall is that soups shouldn't be tried for their crimes because they are in the minority. Yes, I know, it's a dumb stance to take, but that's what happens when young, uneducated minds make political decisions based on what the media is feeding them instead of reading about it in history books or learning about it in your political studies class. Sam, who is totally new to all this, is convinced by the idiotic Rufus that the soups are being oppressed by Newman and that they should be against such rhetoric, even though that's totally not the case. Homelander is a murderer. His patriotism doesn't give him a free pass to kill anyone. He needs to be jailed or neutralized because he's a criminal. By the way, do you see how Gen V, which is clearly a wild take on the X-Men, turns the X-Men's allegory on its head? The X-Men represented minorities and how they've been othered by society, whereas the Gen Vers think they are the minority because, despite having ungodly powers, there are more humans than soups. I'm not sure who is right and who is wrong, but I know that anyone who wants to kill without facing the consequences is dangerous. Anyway, armed with the knowledge that Indira is creating a virus to kill every soup, Marie tries to get to Victoria Newman, while Jordan creates a distraction to get the guards to move away from the door leading to the auditorium. Coincidentally, the town hall meeting goes sideways as the students get all riled up and try to kill Newman. As Newman makes her way backstage, Marie gets a hold of her. Newman reveals that she has been looking forward to meeting Marie, which is not much of a surprise because she is one of the most famous soups of God. Therefore, it seems like Marie's job of convincing her to expose Indira and the woods is going to be fairly easy. Emma finds Sam and takes him to a safe spot. Kate confronts Indira about her soup-killing virus. Indira, seeing that Kate's gloves are literally off, tries to calm her down by saying that, after losing her family, she sees Kate as her own. Kate reads Indira's mind and seemingly comes to the conclusion that Indira indeed loves Kate. But it can be an elaborate ruse, right? Someone who can literally manipulate people with her mind says that Indira is a master manipulator, even though she doesn't have any powers. Indira managed to one-up Tech Knight. She has been working under Vaught's radar to create a soup-killing virus. So, it's totally possible that she's faking her affection so well that Kate can't catch it. The episode moves to the uber-important conversation between Marie and Newman, and, first things first, Marie finds out that Newman can bend blood just like her. Newman turns this revelation into a relatable moment for Marie because Newman is someone who has reached unimaginable heights, despite her disgusting and unmarketable powers, and she wants Marie to do the same. But Newman has achieved what she has achieved by hiding her powers. Everyone thinks that she is a powerless human being. Marie's situation is totally different. Everyone knew about her powers from the get-go. That's why this whole conversation feels very weird because even though Newman keeps saying that she understands Marie, she clearly doesn't. Anyway, after establishing that she is Marie's secret benefactor, Newman asks Marie to come to the point she was trying to make earlier, and Marie tells her everything about the woods, Indira, Cardosa, and the soup-killing virus. Newman says that she is going to take care of it, and Marie should divert her attention to rising through the ranks in Goode. Marie says that that is impossible because she knows too much to just go back to normalcy. Newman reminds her that she has a unique opportunity to enter the Seven and influence people the way she wants to. However, the road to get to that position is really long. If she tries to be a rebel at this stage, she is going to lose that opportunity. Coming back to Kate and Indira, the former sends a message to her friends to come to Indira's house. Everyone heads over to Indira's house, except for Andre, who decides to stay beside Polarity, who is in a state of comatose. At the end of episode 7, Kate forces Indira to tell Marie, Emma, Sam, and Jordan that she plans to kill every soup in existence because she feels they are responsible for the most violent incidents happening in the world. Before anyone can decide what they should do with Indira, Kate manipulates her into killing herself. When Marie rushes in to help her, Kate manipulates her mind so that she can't use her powers to help Indira. Once Indira breathes her last, it becomes clear that the young soups have been divided into two factions. On one side, there are Kate and Sam, who think that humans should be killed before they can kill soups, and on the other side, there are Marie, Emma, and Jordan, who think that they should find a way to get humans and soups to coexist. In the following episodes of Gen V and maybe even The Boys, we'll probably see this divide getting bigger as more and more people develop polarizing views about each other. This divide is definitely going to be exacerbated by Newman, who gets her hands on the soup-killing virus after killing Cardosa. If Mallory learns about this, I am sure she's going to kick herself for not acquiring the virus when Indira was offering it. What is Newman going to do with it? She is pretty anti-soup. So, maybe she is going to unleash that virus on the world, or she is going to use it to threaten every soup to do her bidding. I think the latter is more plausible because causing a pandemic is too risky. By the way, what do you think is going to happen to Cardosa's urine-spiked scotch, which was meant for Indira, now that both of them are dead? Is someone going to find it while cleaning up Indira's office and think she used to drink urine-flavored scotch? Are Marie and Jordan going to clear Indira's name by informing everyone that Indira used to have regular scotch and that Cardosa was responsible for pouring urine into it? Episode 8 of Gen V opens with Kate and Sam on one side of the moral spectrum and Marie, Jordan, and Emma on the other end of the moral spectrum. Kate and the newly radicalized Sam think that killing humans who want to kill soups is the right thing to do, and their first step is to unleash the prisoners of the woods on the people at Goode. Marie, Jordan, and Emma are of the opinion that bloodshed won't resolve anything. So, they intend to stop Kate, Sam, and everyone who stands beside them before they cause irreparable damage to the students and employees of Goode. Andre finds out that Polarity is dying because the side effect of using his power is brain damage. The doctor advises both Andre and Polarity to never use their powers because they'll eventually kill them. Polarity is in no position to use his powers, so in a way, he's safe. But Andre has his whole life in front of him, and he won't be able to get through it without his powers. Therefore, Andre's dad tells Andre to take up the mantle of Polarity and do the things he never could for one reason or another. Back at Goode, Ashley Barrett shows up to conduct a meeting where they'll decide who should join the Seven. No, she isn't invested in the future of the young soups. She thinks that the appointment will cause a big enough distraction to make the general audience forget everything about the deaths and the violence that is happening at the university. Kate releases the prisoners of the woods and motivates them in a very Magneto-esque way to kill all the humans who are responsible for the ill treatment of the soups. The highly impressionable kids listen to Kate's orders diligently because, for the first time, someone is treating them like soups and not like test subjects. Kate's minions unleash hell on Goode. They unapologetically kill anyone who isn't a soup. Marie, Jordan, and Emma get to the woods, and they realize that Kate, Sam, and the rest of the soups have escaped. Marie orders Emma and Jordan to go and get the humans to safety. Social media Jeff comes across a feral soup and uses the supersonic sound emitter device to kill her. But he fails to see Kate creep up behind him and put him under a spell. Kate proceeds to take Jeff outside and pushes him to kill himself publicly and on live stream. Ashley finally realizes that yet another disaster is unfolding right in front of her eyes in Godalkin. She keeps asking for Indira because she doesn't know that Indira is dead. Sam interrupts Adam Burke's audition class and almost kills him. Emma stops him from doing so and tries to reason with him. However, Sam has become too radicalized to listen to anyone, and that includes Emma. He insults Emma by saying that she's selfish, and he resumes his killing spree. Emma, surprisingly enough, shrinks, and that confirms the fact that Emma doesn't have to puke or eat to get small or big. Her powers can be controlled mentally. In this case, Emma was feeling small due to Sam's insults, and that's why she literally became small. If she starts feeling confident, I'm sure that she'll grow big. Kate calls up Andre and asks him to join her fight. She sees that Sam is struggling to differentiate between reality and fiction as he keeps talking to an imaginary version of Luke about the morality of killing people. She assumes that this is a result of Sam's emotions. So she makes him forget how to feel, thereby turning Sam into a merciless killing machine. Marie finds the lockdown button and presses it. Initially, it seems like that'll only activate all the large impenetrable gates all over the institution. But as soon as the supersonic sound begins blaring through the speakers strewn all over the grounds, Indira's backup plan feels somewhat impressive. That said, soon after this display of genius, one of the recently released soups uses his supersonic powers to fry the sound devices and makes the lockdown protocol look like a juvenile attempt at protecting oneself from literal, overpowered superheroes. Ashley comes up with a plan. She says that they should call up the candidates who have been selected to be potential members of the Seven and tell them that if they successfully stop the mayhem, they'll immediately get to join the prestigious group of superheroes. Marie gets a call, and it seems like she likes the idea because it means she'll get to meet her sister, even though she has no clue how to stop Kate, Sam, and all the other soups. Ashley, Burke, and the rest of her team members try to escape via a helicopter. But Kate manipulates a soup to destroy it. Andre shows up to stop Kate and ends up using his powers to save the aforementioned helicopter from crashing. As predicted by the doctor who is looking after Polarity, the superheroic act takes a toll on Andre's mind. He shrugs it off and joins Marie in her attempt to reason with Kate. That doesn't work out as Kate unleashes Maverick, the son of Translucent, on Marie and Andre. Marie tells Andre to go after Kate while she takes care of Maverick. Initially, Maverick manages to beat the living hell out of Marie because she can't see him. However, Marie remembers Newman's words about detecting blood activity and discovers Maverick's heartbeat. As soon as she locates him, she knocks him out. Andre tries to connect with Kate, but instead gets knocked down by Sam. This leads to a horribly edited fight between Sam and Andre. The shot choices and the decision to cut after every 2 seconds are just baffling to me. Thankfully, Andre knocks him out with an electric baton. As if all the talking that has already happened during the climactic battle of Gen V wasn't enough, Marie engages in a dialogue with Kate yet again. Predictably enough, that goes nowhere because Kate has gone insane. Marie notices Jordan getting attacked from all sides, and she uses her blood powers to save them, as well as the Vought employees who are trapped inside a helicopter. Burke says that he is going to use that in his movie, thereby indicating that he seeks to monetize every single thing that he sees. During Gen V ending, Marie and Jordan take a pause to appreciate that they work together really well. But Kate shows up out of nowhere and tries to manipulate Jordan. Marie uses her blood powers and blows up Kate's arm. At the same time, Homelander shows up and blames Marie for attacking one of her own. Cameron Coleman, the newsreader, says that Sam and Kate are the real heroes, while Marie, Jordan, Andre, and Emma are the real villains of the Godalkin massacre. This means one thing and one thing only: Homelander has become a full-blown racist. He wants to paint the white students as the victims as well as the heroes, while labeling the diverse section of the cast as the villains. This is insidious, and given how Marie, Jordan, Andre, and Emma are in a doorless prison, probably inside Vought, they'll have a hard time proving their innocence. Meanwhile, Kate and Sam will get all the freedom in the world for being white and discriminatory. So, the one thing that you can expect in The Boys Season 4 is racism. By the way, if you stick around, you'll be greeted with a mid-credits where Billy Butcher visits the woods and says one of his infamous catchphrases. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and I hope you enjoyed Gen V.